Welcome to the second part of my question being asked, isn't the Bible just made of a bunch of fairy tales? If you haven't had a chance, make sure you go and watch my other videos and my playlist section, my Q&A, to catch up all the way to this point. Now we're talking about opponents. These are people that disagreed with Jesus. So we're talking Pharisees, Sadducees, people like them. These people have, you need to kind of take as a disclaimer, these people had no reason to side with Jesus. In fact, Jewish people don't believe that Jesus is the Messiah. Now, when people talk about fairy tales in the New Testament, they're talking about Jesus' ability to heal, resurrect people, things like that. So this is the reason why we're focusing on this. Now, the Gospels tell us that the Jewish leaders who not only opposed Jesus' ministry, but they also denounced his miracles when he did them. They claimed it was the work of satanic powers rather than the power of God. This is said in Matthew chapter 9, verses 34, Mark 3:22, Luke 11:15, and the Talmud supports this claim. Chris, what's the Talmud? Well, the Talmud is a collection of writings that covers the full gamut of the Jewish law and tradition, compiled and edited between the 3rd and 6th centuries. Now, this is important that we understand this, because if the Talmud, which is what the Jewish people are using to study and to memorize and things like that, claims that Jesus did, in fact, do miracles, but he did it through evil, this supports the gospel account and narrative. The Jewish people don't claim that Jesus didn't do miracles. Even today, they say that he did. It should be noted that the Jewish leaders were perfectly willing to simply deny the stories of the gospel from the Gospels altogether. They did so with things like the virgin birth. The Jewish leaders perpetuated a story that Mary was not a virgin at all, but rather had been seduced by a Roman soldier, which was a scandalous claim made against Jesus, because he would be supposedly a half Gentile and should therefore not be trusted. The Jews did not like Gentiles and did not trust Gentiles, and they certainly did not like the Romans because they were occupied by them. It's worthwhile to note then that the Jews never took the approach with Jesus' miracles. As I mentioned before, they challenged the other elements of Jesus' life, but they've never ever publicly said that we don't agree that Jesus performed miracles. It's very interesting. I found that information when I was doing the research. I found that very fascinating. When you think about it, usually opponents can find some kind of footing and ground to be able to shoot down all the aspects of what a person, unless Jesus really did these things publicly and it's somewhat documented that he did, and the Jewish leaders knew it and they documented it, and it's just been passed on through generation to generation that he did. So I hope you enjoyed this part of the video. Make sure you watch my last part of the answer to this question, where we talk about Josephus, who he is, what he talks about, and how it connects to Jesus and his miracles. See you then.